Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Here comes the. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like. E-double-L. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like BLITZ-EP. Ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Have some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge. Take the door off your bins, pop up off all of your friends. Man, please, this shit ain't cynical. Man, no you ain't built for a spirit as a nigga can be. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, when I'm coming, when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, when I'm coming, when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like.
What up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of the Blitz. I'm Big C. Y'all know the co-host, Mike Jones. What up, Mike?
What up, man? Happy to be here for episode 33 of the Blitz. Another day, not another dollar, but another day. Another fun week of football. How's it
Don't worry,
going, Big C?
the dollars will come, you know. The dollars will come someday.
Yeah, if I win that
We
grand.
get dollars. We get dollars other ways. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I could be better.
Listen, man. I know it was a rough weekend for you, man. I felt for you. I picked Houston. I just went with a gut feeling, but your team had a shot, and that's got to be a hard thing to sit there and watch, knowing that it's the end of your season. So I feel for you, brother. I feel for you.
I definitely didn't have the best of weekends. but today's a new day. Today's a new day. I've had time to think, and we'll go over some of my feelings. But I'm just glad to be here for another episode of the Blitz. I'm glad to be doing this channel with you. I'm glad for my other channel, the Finn Posse Podcast.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
glad for the subscribers we do have and the subscribers that we hopefully will gain in the future. I love the game of football, and the game of football comes with a lot of ups and downs. And for the last 30 some years, I've dealt with a lot of downs. So it's not something that I'm not used to. It never gets easier. Definitely doesn't get easier, but hey, there's always games in the future, and hopefully, God willing, I will be here in the future to see more games, and I guess that's all I can ask for. But the season goes on, the road to a championship for one lucky fan base continues, and it's still football's still exciting. Football's still exciting. It's not the same if your team's not involved, but it's not something that you can't still find enjoyment in watching and doing what we do. So onto the next step, onto the next adventure in this season.
I have to agree. I mean, my team's been out of it forever now, but I've been having just as much fun as. I mean, obviously, it'd be more fun if my team was there, but I'm having just as much fun. Really focusing on all these other games, all the storylines of the season. I pay a little more. I pay a lot more attention than I did to all football in general. I used to have teams that I wouldn't mind watching because the Giants, let's face it, have sucked for quite a while. But yeah, I mean, this channel has honestly revitalized the love of football in me. So hopefully in our future we'll have a nice healthy subscriber base, and make some things out of this, do giveaways and have a good time and get to meet interesting people. And I mean, that's the goal, right? Meet new people and have fun with the sport that you love.
Definitely. I never got into this creating content to become wealthy or to become internet famous or to even make $1 on. I just got into it because I'd get frustrated hearing other people's takes on my football team or in football in general and other sports for that matter, which the Game Changers media will eventually venture into other sports. But I just got tired of not being able to have my voice heard and give my opinion. Fire back, maybe obviously Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith and the people that make some of the asinine comments that they make on their shows aren't going to hear from little old Big C. But it made me feel better to be able to talk about it and get my whether nobody's listening or 50,000 people are listening. So there's a lot of competition in this game. There's probably a new content creator every day for every team, and I feel blessed for anybody that chooses us. We're gonna give it to you as straight as we can. We're gonna be real with you. We're gonna give our real personalities and be the real people that we are, minus hopefully some of the cussing that I'm trying to work on. But that's real emotion right there. But I do gotta calm that down for the people that, that's not their cup of tea. But yeah, another interesting week of football to say the least. We had what many considered possibly going to be the game of the year. It didn't disappoint. I mean, maybe at first it did, but great game. at the end of it. We had good football yesterday, and I think we learned a lot about a few teams.
I agree. I didn't see Buffalo beating Detroit, but that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Definitely made me question some feelings that I had. I thought Detroit for sure take Buffalo down, and matter of fact, I think we both picked Detroit that game. So
I did. We did. I had picked Buffalo earlier in the week, and then I decided to go with Detroit. But this was anybody's game. I mean, I'm not shocked Buffalo won, and I wouldn't have been shocked if Detroit won. They're two of the elite teams in the NFL, probably two of the top 4 teams in the NFL. So it just depends who was going to have the good day. You know what I mean? Like, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, any team can beat any team. And some days people have good days and some people have bad days, And I mean, the great ones show up and they put on a show, and I think we're seeing the growth of Josh Allen before our eyes. And Josh Allen put on another show just like he's done all year long, and the Buffalo Bills had a strong performance and beat what many consider the top team in the NFL yesterday. But anyway, let's get into the show. Usually we do a overreaction Monday, where we take some topics and hot situations that occurred on Sunday football, and we go over them and see if the narrative, if people are jumping out the window for no reason, or if there's some legitimacy behind some people's thoughts.
Okay. So what do you want? You want me to ask you? You want me to say something? You want to answer some questions for me? Is that what you want to do?
Let's jump into it.
All right. 3 weeks left. Beating the Lions. Are the Bills the Super Bowl favorite?
With 3 weeks left and beating the Lions, are the Bills now the Super Bowl favorites? Oh, man. Are they the Super Bowl favorites? I would say that I don't know if I'd say that they're the Super Bowl favorites because they beat the Lions. I mean, I think they're one of the Super Bowl favorites, definitely. But I felt like they were one of the Super Bowl favorites before that. So is the Lions win impressive? Absolutely. Absolutely, the Lions win is impressive. But the throw them out there and say that they're definitely the Super Bowl favorites right now, I'd say that's an overreaction to a point. Just because to say that they're the overall favorites is saying that you believe that they would definitely beat Philadelphia. That they would definitely beat the Lions again. That they would definitely beat Minnesota. That they would definitely beat Green Bay. That they would definitely beat Tampa Bay. And to even get to the Super Bowl, that they would definitely beat the Baltimore Ravens, who they've already lost to this year. Or if they go, that they'd have to go into Kansas City and win where they can't win. So I would say that the Buffalo Bills are definitely one of the favorites, but I feel like they were one of the favorites before yesterday, and I like their chances, but I think they still got a difficult road ahead of them to go into KC and beat the Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I don't think it's like any given Sunday. Bills. I like the Bills. I mean, I'm a Bills fan to a certain extent. It was my grandfather's team, and we used to watch a lot of Buffalo games. So it's nice to see, uh, like Josh Allen performing and Buffalo performing the way they have been over the last few years. I don't know if they're the favorite just because, they did the Rams did come in and take them down. Uh, I was expecting the Bills to come out pretty fired up for this game. I'm not shocked that they won. I still picked Detroit because I've been on the Detroit train for, I don't know, 5 or so weeks. They're definitely one of my favorites. I think they can hang with KC. I think they could pretty much hang with anybody. It's just going to come down to who has the ball last. A lot of these games with these top teams are ending within under 10 points. So I think that's what it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be a lot of close games, and whoever has the ball last and whoever can close it out. So, yeah, they're on my favorites. They're on my favorite top list. My top 3 for favorites for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but this says favorite, not
Yeah.
favorites. Obviously, there's a group of teams. This is saying the favorite, that betting odds that you would take the Buffalo Bills over the house. You know what I mean? That
I'm taking
if you were betting your last $50, you were taking the Buffalo Bills.
I'm taking Buffalo Bills as my favorite to win the NFC or the AFC. So Super Bowl, they're not my Super Bowl favorite. So I think man, it's tough.
Yeah,
They're
so
not
I would say it's an overreaction, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not jumping out the window.
Right. Okay. Which leads me to my next question. With Detroit losing and Philly winning, is Philly the new NFC favorite?
With Detroit losing and Philly winning, Philly the new NFC favorite.
Oh, and of course, Jalen Hurts put up some offensive numbers this week, so that was a nice thing too. So
I would say that it doesn't have very much to do with Detroit losing as much as Detroit's injuries, but I believe that Philly is the
that's a tough one.
I don't know if it necessarily is Philly though. I would say this. I would say that Detroit is no longer my favorite from the NFC that necessarily go to the Super Bowl. And that doesn't just limit it to Philadelphia. That limits it to, I think that Green Bay could pose a real threat to the Detroit Lions with the amount of injuries the Detroit Lions have suffered this year. And now David Montgomery looks like he's probably done for the season. I just feel like their injuries are going to catch up to them, and it opens the door for these other teams. Philadelphia is on a crazy streak right now. Minnesota, Detroit might not even end up winning their own division.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's still right there. And then you got the Green Bay Packers, who have looked phenomenal the last month. The Green Bay Packers, I believe, only have losses against Minnesota, Detroit twice, Philadelphia. That's their 4 losses against the 3 top teams in the NFC. But do I believe that the Green Bay Packers could come to play and beat one of those teams? Absolutely. So I don't necessarily think that Philly's the NFC favorite, but I don't think Detroit is anymore, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I've been really going for Detroit, and they had the record for it, and they weren't losing, and I don't know. They just seemed more vulnerable this week. So they still did. I mean, Goff still had a great game, over almost 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, they're definitely a team to still be afraid of. But like you were saying, they're not my favorite anymore. They're not like I don't think it's a lock by any means. A lot can happen this last 3 weeks. I like Philly, but I've been on the Saquon train, so I'll give you your props though. You said Saquon wouldn't break 100, and I think he got 65. So, yeah, I would have to.
Yeah, Saquon definitely had a not as great a game as he's been having the last few weeks. But I mean, that's expected against a Pittsburgh defense. Pittsburgh's defense is phenomenal. Plus, you knew that with AJ Brown throwing his ass all week, that Jalen Hurts was going to go out there and feed him.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to go out there and feed him to make the crybaby happy, and that's exactly what happened.
I mean, he definitely got his yards. So
we definitely got him, crybaby ass.
I guess that's what you got to do now. Just cry a little bit.
Yeah.
110 receiving yards, 8 receptions, and a touchdown.
The winning is secondary nowadays to these athletes. It's about how you win. If they're not getting their shine, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, that's pathetic. It's a team sport, buddy.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan.
That's one of my biggest concerns is just the drama in Philly. But it didn't seem to distract them. They kept it on the field. They kept it off the field, and they played a good game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it didn't distract him yesterday because he came through and he fed them. But if he would have had three balls thrown his way, and it would have been a problem still.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like that.
I don't think anybody likes it. Your teammates ain't gonna like it, but it got him what he wanted, right? Let me cry a little bit, and
it's a good example of a lead for our children, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to see my kid out there.
Our young athletes that are seeing this.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I want my kids to think of if they don't get something they want and enough play time or enough catches or enough passes thrown to them, or I just want to see them over there whining, because I know one thing: I catch that shit, I'll take you out of the game. I'll walk down there in front of everybody, take you out the game. This is not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's a team sport. It's about you coming together with your brothers and playing your ass off and trying to get that Lombardi. Not about whether Mr. Brown gets more than 4 catches in a game. Come on. Just distracting.
Yes, sir.
I see Saquon whining when he's only getting so many touches. You just don't see it that often.
It's because Saquon came from a team that was losing. AJ Brown's been on some successful teams. Even his teams in Tennessee were good teams with Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry. His time in Philadelphia, the teams have been really good. Saquon came from a bad situation, so he's happy to be winning. You know what I mean? He's hey, you get it. I mean, there was a famous thing of Sirianni going up to him on the bench, like, "Hey, you're closing in on your personal best. You want to go in and get it?" And he was like, "Nah, let the young boys eat." You know what I mean? Like, that's being a team player.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of athlete that our children should look up to. Not AJ Brown. That AJ Brown would have went back in the game like, "Yeah, give it to me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't support it.
It's crazy because you got total polar opposites on the same team. You got Saquon, who he's like, let's team play, and then you got AJ Brown over there crying about his stats and how many passes he gets. It's ridiculous. You're a winning team. You have a chance to win a Lombardi. Sit down, do your job, stop crying. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
Are we going into another question? Let's ask a question that is it's about 2-parter. All right. McCarthy and McDaniels remain their team's head coaches next year. McCarthy for the boys, and of course, you know who McDaniels is.
First off, it's McDaniel.
Oh, is it? It's not an S on there?
No, sir.
Okay, let me change that. Let me change that for you, boss.
You should add an S to it, though, for a sorry excuse for a human being. Oh, man, that's a tough one. That is a tough question. Start out with the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. He was on the hottest seat of all hot seats earlier in the season. I mean, Dak Prescott's been out most of the year. This team has struggled mightily. Micah Parsons has been out a lot this year. So a lot of Dallas's issues have come from two of their star players not being available. But Dallas has played pretty good the last few weeks. And I mean, they seem to be giving it their all for Mike McCarthy. I just don't know who there would be to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk of Bill Belichick, but I never thought that would work just because that's him and Jerry Jones, that's two giant egos on one team. I don't think that would ever work.
Right.
But who do you really replace him with? There's been talk of Dion, but Dallas isn't in a position to draft Shador, and I believe that that's a package deal if Dion comes to the NFL. He's not going to come to the NFL and not coach his son.
Right.
So I'd have to probably say yes as of right now, unless I mean, I think it depends on what Dallas does the final 3 games of the season. If Dallas loses those 3 games, then I'm going to say that Jerry Jones finds somebody. But if Dallas can win 2 out of 3, I think. See, it's tricky with Mike McCarthy too. It's just not firing him. He's at the end of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So not only would he'd have to give him a new contract. So
Right.
that makes it even more difficult. You know, it's not like, well, he's got one more year. Let's like, it's here's some new money with a new guarantee. I'm going to say Mike McCarthy gets replaced.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say he gets replaced. As far as Mike McDaniel was given a new contract in the offseason. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins did not live up to expectations this year. Yes, Tua Tagovailoa missed a stretch of games that the Miami Dolphins just weren't the same team. This team is not the same team without Tua. But they still had an opportunity to do something and make the playoffs after everything they went through at the beginning of the season. They still had an opportunity and they still dropped the ball. I don't see any growth out of this coach. I still see young coach mistakes constantly happening as far as clock management, as far as making adjustments, as far as his ability to identify talent. And a lot of it, to be real, is situational football, the way he deals with that, the way he deals with time management, and how he just doesn't make adjustments. Yesterday, our left guard was getting his ass, or it was our right guard, my fault. It was Leah Eichenberg, was getting his ass ate up. We have Isaiah, who played great football for us last year at the guard position. We re-signed him. He's been hurt most of the year, but he's been ready to go for the last couple weeks. Why didn't you make the change? Isaiah Wynn is the better guard. He's the better player, yet you don't play him. This was a do or die game yesterday. Bradley Chubb, our Pro Bowl pass rusher, was available to play. He tore his ACL, MCL, PCL last year. He's been on injured reserve all the way until last week. He's been back practicing. All his teammates say he looks great. He's ready to play. Mike McDaniel still holds him out this week. You know this is a do or die game. Why didn't you bring him back to play? Why did even if he only played 15 snaps, you're supposed to do everything you can do to win, try to win, and he didn't do it. Yesterday in the fourth quarter, we have one timeout left, and there's 12 minutes left in the game. You didn't think we were down at that point. You didn't think that those timeouts were going to come. We were going to need those later on in the game. But no, you used them because you're not getting the play calls in fast enough. You're not. Another crazy thing is we went from this team that was so deadly on offense, deep throws down the field, scoring 70 points in a game, just the number one offense in football, to now all we're known for is dinking and dunking. 25% of our plays, our pass plays, are thrown behind the line of scrimmage. 25% behind the line of scrimmage. Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah. So McCarthy gone. How do you personally feel about McDaniels? Or McDaniel? Sorry.
There's aspects about Mike McDaniel that I like. I'm not gonna lie, but I think Mike McDaniel should be gone. I think Mike McDaniel is too player friendly. He wants to be their best friends. I think he is too. He's too protective of the players because he wants to be their friends. Bradley Chubb should have been playing. What are you worried about him getting hurt? Bradley Chubb's not playing for us next year. We're gonna release him because of the salary cap implications and the amount of money that we can save. What are you keeping him healthy for the next guys?
Yeah.
What? Oh, we'll play him next week. What? We don't need him now.
Yep.
He's useless now. It's a wrap for us. It was do or die last Sunday.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yep.
You run our 5'8", 180-pound running back up the middle constantly on the goal line and wonder why we can't score touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, his play calling has gone to shit. He's supposed to be this running back guru, and he's just regressed, I feel. And I feel like this team would be better served with a new head coach, a guy that is a leader of men. You got to have respect. You can't be someone's friend. It's like with your children. I see it all the time. These people that try to be best friends with their kids, but their kids don't really respect them.
Yeah.
It's great to have that friendly relationship with your kids. It is. But they got to know that you got to respect them. These players don't respect Mike McDaniel. They like Mike McDaniel because they can do what they want. They like him, but they don't respect him.
Right.
They're not going to lay it all on the line for him like the Detroit Lions do for Dan Campbell. They're just not going to do it. And I think that Mike McDaniel needs to be replaced. Chris Greer, the general manager, needs to be replaced. And I finally think that Tua Tagovailoa needs to be replaced. Tua Tagovailoa has continued to show that he cannot show up in big moments. Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback. He is. He's a good quarterback. But Tua Tagovailoa is limited, and I don't believe he has the ability in him to win the big game. He had 4 turnovers yesterday. 3 of them could definitely have been avoided. He cost us the game yesterday, and we're the umpteenth millionth time because our quarterback couldn't show up to play when the moment was the biggest.
Yeah.
So should Mike McDaniel be replaced? Yes. Will he be replaced? Probably not. I see us moving on from our general manager, but I believe that Mike McDaniel is tied at the hip with Tua Tagovailoa, and I believe Tua's here for at least another year. So I believe Mike McDaniel is going to be here for at least another year, unless we hire a GM that is like, no, I want a new coach. I mean, maybe then. But Stephen Ross hasn't shown the ability to go out there, and we might not even get the new general manager. Stephen Ross, it's like Chris Greer's got something on Stephen Ross, like naked pictures of him kissing a guy or something. I don't know. But we shall see. But I think Mike McDaniel's probably back. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you think that's and if he stays, do you think anything changes next year? Do you think they can have a better season with McDaniel, or do you think
I think they'll have a good season as long as Tua stays healthy. I think they'll be a playoff team. They would have been a playoff team this year if Tua didn't get hurt.
right?
I mean, regardless, they lost the game to the Texans that knocks us out the playoffs. But if Tua would have played in them 4 games that he missed, we would have won 3 of them.
Mhm.
So what would our record have been right now? We're 6-8. We would have been. What's that make us? You take 3 losses
9-5?
away at. Yeah, so I mean, we would have been 9-5 right now. You know,
Yeah,
we wouldn't have been hurting for it. We'd have been 9-5 with 3 games left. So I mean, I think that we'll make some moves in the offseason. We'll come back. Tua will have a great year if he stays healthy, but Tua will continue to let us down when we need him the most. This team is very capable of beating the bad teams. They're the best bad team in the NFL. So they'll
Yeah.
win a bunch of games. They just can't beat the top 10 teams in the NFL. So as long as they're not playing top 10 teams every week, and we'll be fooled as a fan base. We'll be happy that, oh, we're a playoff team. Oh, we got 10 wins. Oh, well, we'll be excited and happy. But it'll be the same thing. And every once in a while, maybe Tua will even fool us. Maybe every once in a while he will go out there and he'll beat a good team. Because he fooled us a little bit this year. He fooled us in the aspect that he went out and he played good against Buffalo in the cold weather. He went out there and fooled us that he played good against Green Bay in the cold weather. So he's going to fool us, but I've seen this story too many times, and to be honest, I'm sick of it. I'm all in for Arch Manning, just like you should be.
Hey man, back off. No, I don't think we'll be worried about that. I think we're picking up. I think we'll probably get Cam. So, yeah, I was really curious how you'd feel about that. I didn't know much about McDaniel. Obviously, I thought it was McDaniel. So,
Yeah, I mean, even our fan base does this, so don't feel bad.
yeah, I mean, but I just, we've had so many episodes, and you've sat here, and sometimes you talk good about him, but I think you lean more towards the side of he's kind of annoying. He's kind of more of a nuisance. Just
I mean, he's definitely annoying. He comes off like he's the smartest guy in the world. He tries to talk in riddles.
Mm-hmm.
He's never direct and to the point. He's always got to go work his way around his answers, and I just feel that's a sneaky quality. I mean, he was an alcoholic, and I mean, people that have addictions like that usually are a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel that I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about his personal life, but as a coach, he leaves something to be desired.
Yep. Okay.
And I've tried to be a good fan. You know what I mean? I tried to support him, and I'll continue to support him if he remains the Miami Dolphins coach. Just like I'll continue to support Tua. But I can't keep being blinded and lie to myself or lying to the fan base that tunes in to watch the content that I produce. I'm not gonna lie to them, and it's gonna anger a lot of people because a lot of people love Tua.
Right.
A lot of people hate Tua, and I tried to be one of those people that was neither here nor there. I just tried to be fair with Tua. I'm not gonna say Tua cost us a game if Tua don't cost us the game. I'm not gonna say Tua is the problem if Tua is not the problem. But if I feel like Tua's the problem, which clearly he was yesterday,
Mhm.
clearly Tua has never won the big game when it's meant the most to us. What other conclusion do you come to? Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and share. What's your thoughts? I know the Dolphin fans be checking this channel. What's your thoughts on old Mike McDaniels? Mike McDaniel. What's your thoughts on him?
Who, me?
No, I was saying to
Oh, I was
the
about,
Dolphins fans that check up.
I'm about to say I don't even pay attention to Mike McDaniel. I listen to what you say every week, and I was kind of curious of how you felt. So, it's your
You
team.
got any more questions?
Yeah, sure. Let's hit you with another one. NFC Championship will be 2 teams from the NFC North.
So you're making this as a statement. So I gotta say, overreaction or that's an overreaction.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, we just said that the Philly might be the favorite. So to say that both teams are coming out the NFC North, I'd say that's an overreaction. Of course, you know how I feel about Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't trust his ass. And that Philly's just playing at another level. Saquon Barkley just playing phenomenal football. I mean, he had an off day yesterday. But like I said, I attribute that to them trying to force feed AJ Brown. And yesterday was a good day for him. They got the ball to AJ Brown. I think he had 40, 50 yards receiving in the first quarter. I mean, but I think their running team, they got a stout defense. They got skilled. They got skilled players at the wide receiver position, very capable players. Jalen Hurts showed that he can throw the ball good. You know what I mean? He might not be as consistent throwing the ball as other quarterbacks, but he's definitely capable. So I'm not going to sit there and discount Philly and disrespect Philly and say that both teams are coming out the NFC North. I mean, Philly's the big one, but look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay could be fighting for that number 1 seed if they wouldn't have went through their midseason, meltdown a little bit because they lost the receivers for that stretch. Remember when Mike Evans was out and they remaining close with teams, but they couldn't get over the hump.
Yep.
Well, Mike Evans is back and this team's played phenomenal, and Baker Mayfield's played phenomenal this year. So Tampa Bay's there too. And then you have the Rams who just beat the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the NFC is very loaded this year, and I can't go out and say that. I just can't.
So since it's obviously an overreaction from your point of view, and because you said a Philly, do you think that Jalen Hurts can go out there and put up 200 plus passing yards a game? Do you think he can keep up his offensive assault through the air after having a good week this week? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at this playoff picture for the NFC. You got the Lions at 1, the Eagles at 2, the Bucks and the Rams leading their divisions. Wild card, you got the Vikings, Packers, and Commanders, and then still sniffing it is the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Falcons. Yeah, I do think that Jalen Hurts can keep it up because opposing teams' defenses gotta respect the run.
Okay.
So they gotta have enough people in the box to stop Saquon, which leaves their wide receivers, which they got talented wide receivers. They got a talented tight end. That leaves them with much more favorable matchups. It leaves them with a lot more one-on-one matchups. And these receivers are talented enough to win the one-on-one matchup. AJ Brown, as much as I hate the crybaby stuff, he's a phenomenal wide receiver. Devontae Smith is a wonderful wide receiver. Dallas Goedert is a great tight end. So yeah, I mean, 200 yards a game. Yeah, Jalen Hurts can put that up. Absolutely.
Okay, moving on. The Chargers missed the playoffs. Currently sitting in the 7th spot.
Let's take a look at this AFC. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture then. So we got the Chiefs, the Bills, the Steelers, and the Texans as the playoff or the division winner so far. The Ravens still could win that division against the Steelers. They still play head to head. And then you got the Broncos at 9-5 and the Chargers at 8-6. You're saying the Chargers will miss the playoffs?
It's more
that
of a
means
question.
the Chargers would have to drop 2 of their next 3. Do you know who the Chargers schedule is against?
I
think I do. If you don't,
no, I don't.
Chargers their final 3 games are against the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Patriots. Do I think that they'd have to lose 2 of those, and either the Colts, Dolphins, and Bengals would have to win 2 out of. Well, they'd have to win out.
Right.
They'd have to win out. I don't see the Chargers losing 2 of those. Maybe they lose to the Broncos, which that shows if Miami would have won out, they would have got in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they lose 1 more to the Broncos. They're not going to lose to the Raiders. I guess maybe New England has a slight shot of knocking off the Chargers just because Drake May. I think Drake May's been great, and the Patriots just always seem to, sneak someone. You know what I mean? Like they always seem to win a game that they're not supposed to from out of nowhere.
Right.
So, but I don't see the Miami Dolphins winning out. Cincinnati's got some tough games. I don't see them winning out. And
so pretty much you're saying the AFC is pretty much set.
Yeah, I would say that the AFC is set. Maybe not positions because I think
right
Baltimore can steal the division from Pittsburgh, but yeah, I think the 7 teams are set for the playoffs in the AFC.
All right, that's going to take me to my final question. The NFC playoff picture is set and will not change.
All right, so we're going to pop this back up. Let's see. The Lions, Eagles, Bucks, and Rams are division winners right now. On the wild card, we got the Vikings, Packers, Commanders, and sniffing it is the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Falcons. Well, the Lions can still lose their division. So are you saying the top 7 teams are like positions will change?
No, I'm just saying that the top 7 that are currently going to go to the playoffs, that's going to be the 7 that's going to be in the top 7. The Seahawks, Cardinals, and Falcons won't take one of those spots.
I mean, I think it's probably set, but it definitely could change. Depending on what the Falcons do tonight, they're still only a game behind the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks slip up at all, I think the Falcons hold the tiebreaker over them.
Okay.
And the Seahawks could still catch the Rams, although Geno did come down he did have an injury last night. So I don't know how healthy he's going to be going forward. But as far as I think the Commanders stay in. So it's just about who wins those 2 divisions, but I like where they currently stand. I do think I do still think it stays the same.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, see the Seahawks are just like you said, Geno got hurt and the Seahawks are just I don't know. I don't trust in them. You don't really like Geno anyway, so I just don't have that confidence. I know they have the ability to win these games. and possibly, but I don't see it. I see the top 7 that's in there right now pretty much. I don't think we're going to see a lot of moving. You might see some shuffling inside that 7, but I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to be them 7 for the playoffs. So
Yeah, Atlanta's is just way too inconsistent.
very, very.
I don't think they overcome the bump. But yeah, that is our overreaction Monday.
And while I got everybody here, pick'ems from Friday. Big C went 11-2, takes him to 73-28. Mike Jones, that's me, went 10-3, dropping another game to Big C. So now I'm 3 behind with 3 weeks to go, putting me at 70-31. So yeah, you can kiss my ass. Yeah, good game picks this week. Cuzzo, you got me.
Yeah.
I had a little faith in the Seahawks, and guess I shouldn't have.
So my 2 games that I lost were the Detroit one and the Dolphins one. Right.
You lost the Detroit one and the Dolphins one, and I lost the Detroit one, the Seahawks, and the Carolina game. I picked Carolina over Dallas. So, good job. Good job.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday did hurt, but like I said, I expected it. I did my Finn Posse podcast, and I went live, and I was joined by a couple fans, and we had sat there and talked, and we had talked about what the score was, and I tried to manifest a victory, and I said that someone had set a score that my guy Raphael, shout out to him. He joined me Sunday for my stream party, and he was there Saturday night for the live stream, and he had pretty much picked the score right on the dot. I think he had said it was going to be 27-13. Ended up being, what was it, 2012. He did a great job, but I was like, no way, Raphael. There's no way that this team's only scoring 13 points. Well, we didn't even get the 13. I didn't believe that we were gonna not show up, but as I explained to the people that were there listening, that in the back of my head, the little guy's in there saying, "You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. The same thing that happened with Green Bay. The same thing that always happens when there's a big game. You guys are gonna lose. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna come out victorious. Good things are not gonna happen to this football team." And I try to ignore that voice. I try to block it out, and I try to manifest good thoughts and victories. And that goddamn thing in the back of my head is always right. And I'm gonna have to start listening to it. And it's sad, and it gets me upset. It makes me worry that I've wasted my life that is never gonna give me back what I've given to it. I've cheered. I've spent my dollars. I've spent how many hours of my life. I mean, that's the crazy thing. How many days of my life have I given to watching this team, and they give me nothing in return?
Yeah, that's not
You
even
give me minimal joy.
that's not even counting the heartache you deal with for hours or the day after or even the week, depending on how bad. You put a lot of time into liking and being devoted to your team and loving your team, and then I feel for you.
You can't pay me back with a winning product, or at least the hope, or you know what I mean? It's a depressing feeling, and it gets me nervous. I said that I want to try to get hypnotized and to not be a Dolphins fan no more, or do whatever I can to get out the misery that I constantly live with this team. And I love this team. I can't be a a bandwagoner. I can't just say that, all right, I'm not going to be a fan of this team and I'm going to go buy a bunch of, Kansas City stuff. I can't do that. I know there's certain people out there that can. I can't. I can't do it.
Right.
And I'm guessing my life wouldn't be too happy without football at all. But I know that it's depressing and it's sad with it in my life. I don't know what to do. I contemplate this every year because it's the same situation every year, but I guess that's the life of being a Dolphins fan. My dad is no longer with us, but F you, Dad, for making me a Fins fan.
Hey, from
Use a real piece of garbage on that one.
For what I've heard, he was a just like you when it comes to being a fan. He'd get so butthurt when they did bad, and so I mean,
Who said that?
My mom said that. She was like, "Man, he used to get mad like that when the Dolphins did bad." I was like, "No way." She was like, "Yeah." She's like, we were watching a little bit of your stream the other night when you were live streaming, and she's like, "Man, that's John right there, yo. That's him, right? Same thing. He gets so upset over them Dolphins." She's like, "I just don't get it." I was like, "Ma, you like football, but you're not like a football fan. So you like the Patriots because you like Tom Brady for so long."
Yo, usually I don't call people out either. I was watching an episode of The Huddle today, and I met this guy, and he's a nice guy in person. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
nice guy. But Richie is the biggest hating ass dude, Jets fan I've ever met. He is the epitome of why I don't like Jets fans. He's exactly it. He'll sit there and smirk and ha ha, like, oh, you guys lost, got eliminated from the play. First off, we're not even eliminated, really. But I'm not even gonna sit here and discuss that, the possibility of us making a playoff appearance, because it's not real life. But
Right.
technically, we're not eliminated yet.
Oh, he would.
Your Jets team is trash, straight garbage. You haven't won nothing forever. You don't got no talent. Y'all are scumbags, and he is the epitome of that. Richie, bro, like, you are the epitome of Jets fans, and that's why people don't like Jets fans at all. Yeah, y'all made me sick with your attitude, and y'all were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders and straight shit the bed. And you gonna sit there and smirk and laugh? Like, come on. Act like you in a better position. What position you in? You don't got a coach. You ain't got a general manager. You don't even have a owner that cares about the team. You got a 42-year-old quarterback that's washed. Your young talent just didn't show up. No excuse. You have no reasoning behind why your team's bad. I know why my team's bad. We don't got an offensive line. We don't got a defensive line. And a lot of our big name players are overrated. You got star players in the prime of their careers, and you just didn't win any games for no reason at all. So what's funny about that? What's funny? What, you got to smirk on it because you beat a team? Who'd you beat yesterday? Jacksonville? You almost lost.
Mm-hmm.
You almost lost.
Oh,
what's
yeah.
so funny?
If the Jets had a 1% chance, you guarantee he'd be like, "Oh, we got this." Like, come on, let's be realistic.
So funny. What, you're corny for that, bro. Like, he was a nice guy when I met him in person. So this is just strictly as him as a fan. I'm not a hater. I just call it how I see it. No, you don't call it how you see it. You don't call it how you see it. You're fronting. You're full of it. And it kills me that they sit there and they gang up on TD. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, TD sits there and he puts two on this pedestal that TD don't really believe this pedestal he puts two on. But what you supposed to do when you're talking against rival teams? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be for your team. So shout out to him for doing that. On TD's channel, he straight up tells it how it is and how he feels about Tua. But I'm not going to sit there to a Bills fan and a Jets fan and be like, yeah, my quarterback's trash. Be like, nah, he's better than yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the fact that this dude be laughing about like, he was so like, oh, it's a good day, Dan, that me and you are in here on Victory Monday, acting like his team was
Like it
the
matters.
Bills and beat the Lions yesterday. No, you beat the Jags. Congratulations. Well, you got 5 wins now, 4 wins. Like, and your quarterback played the whole year. Every time something said is, oh, you guys got a chance. No, you guys are trash. You guys are trash. Or if he has to say something bad about his team, well, your team's trash too. Like, bro.
See, I'm all for supporting your team, but I mean, if anybody's watched the show, you've seen me. I'd sit there. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, oh, the Giants are going to win or the Giants are going to do this if it's not plausible. I mean, I'm cool for saying, yeah, we'll win. I think we'll win, but I'm not going to sit there and amp it up.
Take that little fin out your mouth. You know what I mean?
So let's be realistic fans here. Be realistic.
Yes, sir. Remember this January 1st. January 1st. Come on down for your opportunity to win yourself $1,000 for the holidays.
You're the next contestant on the Blitz is right.
Nah, for real, folks. What a better way to start off the new year than having an opportunity to win $1,000 cash money in your hand. All you got to do is be like, subscribe, comment, share, and be present.
And be present and comment and talk.
Also, if you're subscribed to this channel, give our other channels, especially if you're a Dolphins fan, come over and show support to the Finn Posse podcast. If you're a Giants fan, go over and show Mike some love at the Gridiron Giants.
I will be putting out more content. I know my content has not been up to par as quantity, but it will start getting better. I've just had a very lot on my plate, but I really do want to get this Gridiron Giants going. I want to get it where it needs to be, and I want to apologize for not putting out a lot of Giants content. So, yeah.
But yeah, eventually the goal is to stop posting the Dolphins Finn Posse podcast stuff on this channel and the Giants stuff on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed to both channels if you're a Dolphins fan or if you're a Giants fan, so you don't miss out on any of the content. I don't want you to get used to watching the Finn Posse stuff over here and then you don't realize that it all switched over and you got to miss out. But yeah.
So January 1st.
January 1st. It'll be here. But listen, that's a lot of money. You got to be subscribed to all the channels. I'm doing.
Finn Posse Podcast, Game Changers, and the Gridiron Giants.
Yeah.
Anyway,
make sure you check it out. We'll be back Wednesday. Oh,
yeah, I did put our cash apps at the bottom of the screen. Any donations go directly towards the channel. They aren't spent for fun. They aren't spent for us. They are strictly for the channel to make a better product for you, the fans, because we care about you.
I'm new to the cash app thing, so send me $1 just to make sure that it works.
Send me $1 with 4 zeros on it.
Well, that's what I'm going to be doing soon. I'm going to send someone $1. Unless they want paper money. They don't got cash app. But yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the like button. Please. We're trying to grow, and that's the only way that we can grow. You got to tickle that like button. You got to make it feel good.
That's right. You got to flick that button. Give it a little flick.
We're trying to grow. We're trying to make things happen. I may be on the Miami Dolphins roundtable tomorrow night. with TD. I got to double check and make sure it's still a go. 7 o'clock. So you may be seeing me there tomorrow, which will be great. But yeah, we'll see you Wednesday. Any closing words?
Thanks for kicking it with us on the Blitz, brought to you by Game Changers Media. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Remember the first $1,000 giveaway. And as he said, the Blitz will be exclusively on Game Changers Network, and his will be on Finn Posse Podcast, and mine will be on the Gridiron Giants. So subscribe to all three. Do it. Do it.
You know you want to. You know you want to.
I'm kind of
all right, folks. We'll see you Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Love you.
We appreciate you. We love you.
See you Wednesday.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so, I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like BLITZ-EP. Ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge.